Thanks for the clarification. Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is John Delaney. I'm the Commission's designated presiding officer for this hearing. Today's October 15th, 2024, and it's approximately 9 a.m. And this is the date and time that's been set for the virtual hearing in Docket 24-057-12, which is the application of Enbridge Gas, Utah, for approval to expand the purpose of the low-income portal and add authorized agencies. Why don't we start with appearances for Enbridge, please?
Good morning. My name is Jennifer Nelson Clark. I'm counsel for Enbridge Gas Utah. I have with me Kelly Mendenhall. He will be summarizing the relief the company seeks in this docket. I also have with me Ricky Macias, who provided pre-filed data and is prepared to answer any questions that the commission may have or that the division also may have regarding the application and the evidence provided.
Thank you.
I believe we also have Matt Turner as well, who's here to answer questions.
Thank you so much. Matt Turner with the low-income agencies.
Great. Thank you very much for that. Mr. Grecu for the division, please.
Patrick Grecu, Assistant Attorney General representing the Division of Public Utilities, and we will have Eric Orton available as a witness this morning.
Thank you very much. Okay, before we jump in, all know well enough by now, I always have preliminary matters. There's going to be two. One is that I just want to remind everybody that we're here pursuant to the notice, and as specifically stated in that notice, the purpose of this hearing is for the limited reason to get sworn testimony supporting the new information and the various new representations that were made by Enbridge in its reply dated September 17th, 2024. Sure sounds like we have the right witnesses here today. Thank you. And then to clarify a few points with respect to the application that may or may not have any bearing, but I thought it would be useful to do while we're together. Of course, the division will have an opportunity to respond to any testimony that Enbridge provides. But based on the email we received late Friday afternoon, that may not be necessary, but we will see. Nevertheless, because the new information wasn't verified, we need this sworn as a body to be able to make a decision on this docket. So that's why we're here. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and thanks for your preparation in advance. Does anybody have anything else preliminarily that they'd like to raise? Time's up. Hearing nothing. I'll just remind everybody, you've now met Melinda, our court reporter. This is remote, so she is going to do her best to get a good transcript for us in this remote setting. Please make sure your microphone is off or muted, pardon me, unless you are speaking or need to speak. And then please make sure when you do speak, you do so as clearly as possible with an appropriate cadence so that Melinda can effectively do what she's here to help us do. And I'm going to invite Melinda to interrupt anybody, especially me, if you need us to slow down or restate anything, or there's any connectivity issues or whatever. Okay, Melinda?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Everybody else okay with what I've just said about court reporter stuff? Great, thank you. Okay, Ms. Clark, if you'd like to call your first witness, please.
Thank you. The company calls Kelly B. Mendenhall.
Good morning, Mr. Mendenhall. Do you swear to tell the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Mendenhall, please state your full name and business address for the record.
My name's Kelly B. Mendenhall, and my business address is 333 South State Street, Salt Lake City, Utah.
And what position do you hold with the company?
I'm the Director of Regulatory Affairs.
And Mr. Mendenhall, was the application and accompanying exhibits 1.0 and 2.0 prepared by you or under your direction?
Yes, they were.
And were the reply comments in exhibit 3.0 also prepared by you or under your direction?
Yes, they were.
And do you adopt the contents of those documents as your testimony today?
I do.
The company moves for the admission of the application and accompanying exhibits 1.0 and 2.0, as well as its reply comments and accompanying exhibit 3.0 into the record. We move for the admission.
I'm sorry, let me, Mr. Griecu, any objection to that motion?
No objection.
Okay, thank you. The motion's granted. I wanted to get clarification. I'm sorry. That was also for exhibit 3.0 to the reply comments, council?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you so much. Mr. Mendenhall, can you please summarize the relief that the company seeks in the application in this docket?
Sure, and I'll try to keep this brief because I know the questions are probably more for Mr. Macias from our company who works in customer care and Matt Turner from the Utah Weatherization Group. But the company asked for a couple of items. We asked for access to the portal to be given to R6 and the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare. And then we also asked that the portal access be expanded to allow the Utah Weatherization Assistance Program and its associated agencies to access the portal. And so we made that application on August 2nd. And on the 3rd of September, the Division of Public Utilities filed its comments. And in general, the access to the two new entities, it did not have a problem with that. It did believe that the company did not meet its burden of proof to show that not permitting or expanding the access would be burdensome to the agencies that would receive it. And so in response to that, the company on September 17th filed some additional information explaining the burden that would be placed upon both the company and the Utah Weatherization Assistance Program if portal access were not expanded. And then on October 11th, you saw the correspondence where the division seemed to be okay with the information that we had given, and they had withdrawn their objection. And so that I guess that rounds out the summary, and we've got the people that can answer the questions here with us today. If you need any additional information. That concludes my summary.
Mr. Mendenhall is now available for cross-examination and questions from the commission.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mendenhall. Mr. Griecu, any questions from the division?
I do not.
Thank you. I'm pausing here because I'm trying to think who is the witness to ask the questions I have. I have a good sense of who's behind what. But I guess I'll pose a couple of questions to you, Mr. Mendenhall. One will be kind of a prefatory question, which you can say not me sort of thing. And the other one will be a more substantive one. The first one is with respect to the application itself. I have some questions regarding some inconsistencies between what's in tariff 2.15, and that will give you an opportunity. I'm sorry, I didn't give that to you in advance, but tariff 2.15, and then what has been provided in the various submissions so far. So would you, Mr. Mendenhall, be the witness to address those questions that you don't know exactly what they are, but that's the subject matter? Or would it be one of the other witnesses, at least?
If it's related to the tariff, why don't I try to take a shot at it? And if not, I can direct you to who I think would be a better respondent.
Okay, thank you. And that, I mean, we'll just back into this and work through it. I appreciate it. So on page 4 of and you know what, let me give you a second. Ms. Clark, do you need a minute to get 2.15 in front of everybody, or are you guys good to go right now?
I have it in front of me, Mr. Mendenhall. Do you have it in front of you?
I think I will here quickly.
Yeah, when you're ready, Mr. Mendenhall, just let me know. And then Mr. Griecu and Mr. Olson or Orton, pardon me, in the meantime, if you'd like to follow along.
You said 2.15, correct?
Yeah, I think it's pages 2-41.
Okay, that's helpful.
And it's actually the second to last paragraph specifically.
Okay. The paragraph that begins with currently the HCD contracts, is that the paragraph
Yes.
you're looking at? Okay.
That's it. With the effective date in the lower right-hand corner of July 1, 2024.
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Griecu, are you there? Do you need to be there? You want us to wait a minute?
I'll be there in about a minute or two.
Okay. Why don't we take a second until opposing counsel is on the same page, just for completeness sake.
And my apologies, what page was that?
2-41.
Thank you, I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, so on page 4 of the reply, well, no, I'm sorry. Let me do it this way. In the application at page 4 says that HCD contracts with 7 UWAP agencies UWAP agencies to administer UWAP, all of whom are identified in section 2.15 of the tariff. Then if you look at the tariff, the language in that paragraph, Mr. Mendenhall, beginning with currently, that says currently the HCD contracts with 7 low-income efficiency program agencies to perform low-income efficiency activities. Those agencies are, and then it lists specific agencies: Bear River Association of Governments, Salt Lake Community Action Program, Housing Authority of Utah County, 6 county associations of governments, Association of Governments, 5 county association of governments, Uinta Basin Association of Governments, and then last, the Southeastern Utah Association of Local Governments. Now, noting that the 6 county association of governments has been renamed R6, and that's a subject of this application, are the agencies that I just read from that tariff the 7 agencies that are referred to in the application on page 4?
I believe they are, but I guess I would defer to Mr. Macias. He may know the intricacies of that better than me.
Okay, that's okay. Well, with that answer, we'll move off of that question and we will repeat it back to an appropriate witness later. Okay, one last question then, Mr. Mendenhall, that you may or may not respond to, although given your testimony thus far, I think you probably will. What I'd like to know is, in your words, I'm interested in testimony. Well, I'm not interested in testimony regarding the benefit of not following the rule at issue. Instead, what I'm interested in is the hardship that following that rule, that is not allowing access to the portal by just anybody, what that creates. What's the specific hardship?
Yeah, and I will give you my response. And once again, I would hope Mr. Turner, Mr. Macias get an opportunity, since they live in the trenches and have to deal with it. But I can give you an answer. So I think the current process, because of the work that the Utah Weatherization agencies do, they require customer data. And so currently that would require that agency to call someone at Enbridge Gas to get information. And sometimes there's some back and forth that happens, and that would also require a customer care agent to pull up the data, to get the data, and then to share it with the weatherization agency. So obviously, if they're doing that, that takes time and time that they could be answering customer calls in other areas. And so by giving these weatherization agencies access to the portal, and we would also require them to do the same, there are security measures involved with the portal, like two-factor authentication. We also track everybody who accesses the portal. We also require email addresses that come from those specific agencies, and they have to be kind of kept up to date. So we believe there's some protections in place. But denying access to the portal to the weatherization agencies would basically just increase the time spent on both sides. And Mr. Turner is probably better equipped to speak to the burdens that would be placed on the weatherization agencies. But for Enbridge Gas, it would basically be time spent by customer service agents that could be spent in other more beneficial areas for our customers.
Okay, thank you very much. I have nothing further.
Thank you. So while Mr. Macias and Mr. Turner do not have prepared testimony for you, both are available to answer any questions you may have if you'd like to swear them in and ask them those questions.
Great, thank you. Mr. Turner, good morning.
Morning.
Do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Macias, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Grecu, do you have any questions for either one of these witnesses?
I do not believe I do.
Okay, thank you. I am again pausing because I'm processing what I heard already from one witness that is sworn testimony that may be sufficient for our purposes on that issue. So just give me a second. I guess just foundationally, Mr. Turner, are you the author of the email that was attached as Exhibit 3.0 to the reply comments of Enbridge?
I do not have that in front of me.
Okay.
To confirm.
Can you get it in front of you?
What is the attachment or the document?
It's an email from you sent to Mr. Macias dated September 12th, 2024. The subject is lots of rays, but ends with Utah Weatherization Program Manager.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the text, but not at that specific document. Can I confirm some of the language from the text?
You're welcome to do whatever you'd like to do.
Does the response begin with the Utah Weatherization Assistance Program WAP?
Yes.
Like to request access to Enbridge Low Income Assistance Portal?
Yes, that's what I'm referring to.
And in the middle of it, it lists the WAP agencies that we're requesting access to the portal are, and there's 7 of them listed,
Yes.
then yes, I am the author of that.
Great, thank you very much. Let's stay on that document then. My previous question to Mr. Mendenhall, I'll try to repeat it. It'll probably be stated differently, but hopefully the substance will be the same. I want to get some clarification between the tariff language and the actual application language. Let me understand this. Are you an employee, Mr. Turner, of Enbridge?
No.
Okay. So you may not be the right person for this question. Let me just get confirmation from you, though, while you're testifying. The 7 agencies that you just said exist in that email that we were trying to identify you being the author of. Do you still have that document in front of you?
Yes.
Okay. And so it's your understanding that the 7 agencies listed in that email are those that the Weather Assistance Program agencies are requesting permission to access the portal, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And are you at all familiar with tariff 2.15 of Enbridge?
I was trying to look that up while you spoke. 2 of the agencies you listed do not match my current list.
Okay. Do you know, do you have any idea why that mismatch exists?
Yes. One of the agencies you listed from the tariff 2.15 was the Housing Authority of Utah County. We no longer contract with them to do weatherization or to provide weatherization services. We contracted with Mountain Land Association of Governments probably 4 years ago. They took over the contract that the Housing Authority of Utah County had. And then the other one was
Let me stop you there. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be impolite, but I just
Okay.
want to make sure we stop and then start on another point sort of thing. So in essence, what I think I heard you say is that your email that refers to Mountain Land Association of Governments is in essence the equivalent, but a different entity of what is in the tariff, which is Housing Authority of Utah County. Is that accurate?
yes.
Okay. Okay, please go ahead now. You may keep going.
The other entity, if I'm not mistaken, was 6 County Association of Government, and as stated earlier, they have legally changed their name and their entity to R6 Region Council.
Okay. So one last question to you then. Your listing in the email, which is Exhibit 3.0 to the reply, also identifies Utah Community Action Program. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And if you recall, or if you have tariff 2.5 in front of you, that tariff 2.15 lists Salt Lake Community Action Program. So your list says Utah. The tariff says Salt Lake. Are you with me so far?
Yes. The reason for that, Salt Lake Community Action Program has listed the name of Utah Community Action Program as a legal DBA for the same entity.
Okay, so thank you for that. So similar to, well, not similar to, but so Salt Lake Community Action Program, as far as you understand, is the same thing as Utah Community Action Program, which is listed in your email, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to stick with you for a few more questions, Mr. Turner. In your email, which we've established as Exhibit 3.0 to the reply, you make a clarification in that email, and it specifically says, I want to clarify we are not, underline NOT, accessing the portal for the application of therm-wise rebates as listed in docket number 24-057-12, which is this docket. Do you see that?
Yes.
What does that mean to not access? Explain that a little bit, will you please?
It was my understanding that the denial of the WAP having this access that we're requesting may have been based on a concern that we were going to use the portal for the application of therm-wise rebates. And that is not the purpose of us accessing this.
Okay. And I think you just answered my ultimate question, but I will ask it of Mr. Macias later. And the basis of the question was, in essence, because the application itself, which predated the reply, took the position that UAP agencies can apply for therm-wise rebates for purchased appliances. And if I understood what you just testified about, you don't know exactly what the application's articulation that I just read means, other than your position is we're not doing anything as it relates to therm-wise. Is that accurate?
Our program does apply for therm-wise rebates after we have provided services to the low-income clients, but the eligibility of the rebates is not based on anything that we're doing within the portal.
Got it. Thank you. That's a very good clarification, and it makes a lot of sense to me. Those two statements. Mr. Macias, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
I think let's just say this. Let's start with hopefully only one question. On page 4 of the reply submission, which Mr. Mendenhall adopted and has been admitted into evidence, are you familiar with that document?
Let's see here. Yes, I am.
And specifically, I want to understand that you have familiarity with page 4 of that document, which provides specific numbers regarding, for example, the volume of requests, how long these requests take to address, that sort of stuff. Do you see that in the document?
Yes, I do.
And are you familiar with it? That information?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes.
How is it that you're familiar with that?
So I provided that data to Kelly.
Great. And is it accurate? Is that data accurate?
Yes, it is.
Thank you very much. Okay, because you've all done such a great job addressing these questions in piecemeal fashion. I don't want to ask any unnecessarily, so I'm going through my notes one last time to make sure I got everything that I think we needed under oath. So give me one second, please. Okay, Mr. Macias, that's all I have for you. I want to recall Mr. Mendenhall for a moment. Mr. Mendenhall, what we heard is from Mr. Turner regarding the first question I had asked you about the identification of the agencies at issue here, the 7 in the tariff, and then the 7 in Mr. Turner's email.
Right.
And Mr. Turner identified that as listed in his email and therefore in the reply, Utah Community Action is one and the same as Salt Lake Community Action, which is listed in the tariff. Is that your understanding also?
Yes.
Okay. And then Mr. Turner also identified that while he, in his email, Exhibit 3.0, Mountain Land Association of Governments is identified as a current agency, whereas in contrast, the tariff lists an entity called Housing Authority of Utah County, which, based on his testimony, appears to be the wrong entity. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, yes, I would agree it's a different entity.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry. Okay, that's fine. A different entity.
yes.
Okay. Does that have any impact on the application itself, or is this a simple correction that can be made by a compliance filing?
Yeah, that as we were going through that, that's what I was thinking is it might be best for us to sit down and make sure that we've got the correct list in the tariff. So I do agree with you. That could be done through a compliance filing, I think, quite easily.
Okay. Okay, that's great. Okay, I don't have anything further. So unless anybody else has anything further, I think we're adjourned.
Nothing more from the company.
Okay, Mr. Grecu, anything?
I think if the commission is satisfied, we're satisfied.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. And Melinda, thanks for your help. I'll stay on for a second if you need to get any clarification, but otherwise you all are free to go have a productive Tuesday, not Monday, Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Melinda, is there anything I can help you with?